Hey, Heartbreakers! Today I have Steph Ball. She is a very special guest because she's able to talk about what it's like to be a child to someone that is in the cartel and how nice it is to have a husband that supports her OnlyFans. Plus, we get into hot topics and, of course, our fan questions. So stay tuned. All right, Heartbreakers. So I am back and I have a special guest, Stephanie Ball. Stephanie, you were on Cartel Crew, right?
I was
Yeah.
for 3 seasons.
Oh, wow. So that's quite a bit. That's
Yeah.
on VH1.
Yes, so it was on VH1. So basically our show's about children now grown up that had parents that were involved in the drug business, in the
Okay.
cartels, narcos basically. So this is just us coming together, having this bond with the trauma and going through that process of what life looks like after.
Sorry, but I didn't know they had a show about the cartel. I was actually surprised because the cartel is like really serious, right?
It is very serious.
So-
And the only reason why we get to speak about it is because my dad already did Fed time. Some of the cast members' parents are deceased.
Okay.
Some of them are not in the business no more. So we were very respectful towards what people wanted to share. And you can only speak on things you've already been,
Like
accused of and
yeah.
done your time. And that was it.
How has it changed your life at all? Just being on the show, has it changed, or is it just stayed the same?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
So it's insane because when I got the opportunity to do the show, it was kind of like a shocker because I never thought that my upbringing was something people cared to hear about.
I would care. That's so interesting.
Right, it's something that, you don't go around telling people.
Yeah, you
Hi,
can't.
look, my name is Stephanie. My dad used to be a part of the cartel. You just don't say those things. You process because there was a lot of hurt. And, my dad was gone for many years of my life and my mom kind of stepped in to be mom and dad. So it was a lot of pain. So then when I got this opportunity to do this show, I was kind of like confused at first. And then, when I spoke to my parents, I spoke to both of them and, I'm like, are you guys comfortable with me sharing my story, my version?
Yeah.
Because, my parents have an opinion, I have my own. And, I just kind of go through this whole, I guess, like theory of what I've been through and what I would like to do different. Right. So my parents gave me their blessing. And then when I signed up to do Cartel Crew, I'm like, I'm going to be 100% authentic. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be raw and people are going to love me or they're going to hate me. So
which one was it?
I think,
they loved you,
I
right?
think they loved me, but then there was this love and hate situation because I caught people out.
Yeah.
I go hard for the people that I love. I'm very loyal. And, I was kind of like the fighter in the show, very opinionated, and some people love that and was like, she's the realest one on the show. And some people were like, she's so annoying. Why is she talking again?
No, the people just say that in general. Where was it filmed?
It was filmed in Miami.
Okay.
Because in the 80s and 90s, the cartels were alive and well in that era. A lot of our parents were doing business there.
What's your favorite thing about your upbringing with your dad being in the cartel? Any fond memories or?
It was great. The lifestyle was amazing. I had everything I could imagine. When I was a kid, it was just a lot. Christmases were great. Parties were, all out, going all out. We never lacked for anything. Our house was always the best house of our family. It was the one everyone wanted to come to. So it felt good as a kid and never to lack for anything, especially, you're the essentials, right? That was the upside of it. We did a lot of trips, Disney, we were, was traveling, bougie stuff, but it did come with a price for sure.
Man, I have a fetish for cartel men. I'm not even I have to I've never dated one. It sounds really bad, but I love just aggressive, just
ballsy
strong,
men.
Yeah.
So that's funny that you say that because just going a little off topic, because of my upbringing, I was so scared and terrified to be with anybody that had anything to do with drugs.
Yeah. So or just crime in general.
Crime. It was just something I was like, oh, you do card fraud. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, you're a dope boy. Oh, no. I just couldn't see myself repeating my story to my children. I'm I would feel like I failed. Then I met my husband, Chris, right?
And he's in the cartel.
No, he's not in the cartel, but he has a legal cannabis business.
Okay, but that's fine. That's legal. Everybody does that now. Right. It's very profitable.
Very profitable. But at first I was like, what's legal? You know, it's like, is there a gray area? How does that work? And I guess like me not knowing was my hesitation at first to give my husband like the green light. But
he should do shrooms next, because that's like the next
I started
thing.
doing shrooms.
Yeah, you like them?
When I want to like just get a little bit more relaxed and just into the moment.
It relaxes you. It picks me up. Like
it picks me up. But what I mean relaxes me is that I'm naturally like, I'm always very aware of my surroundings. I'm controlling. I want to make sure everything flows. I'm the mama bear.
Yeah.
But when I'm on shrooms, I don't give no fucks given here, So shrooms gives me that carefree energy.
Yeah. Just like whatever. I love shrooms. I stopped doing them. I actually took I talk a lot about it, but I was like depressed at one point, had a lot of anxiety, and I took a shroom, just a micro dose a day. And somebody told me do that for 6 months and it will cure your depression. And it did, because I would take it in the morning. It was like a caffeine pill and it kind of just reset me. But I didn't feel like, how when you take too many shrooms or like a lot of them, you feel like,
you're microdosing.
Yeah, but just I didn't even notice it. It was like I drank a Red Bull or something. I talk very highly of shrooms for certain people.
I'm gonna be honest, it's my drug of choice. I haven't done many drugs in my life, but shrooms is just for me like weed. It brings out the best version.
I think they're gonna legalize it. I think it is, maybe. I don't know.
We gotta do some research.
Yeah. Can't wait for them to legalize Molly. I'm just kidding. So you just got recently married.
Yes.
How long were you together before you got married?
So I got engaged 7 months after being together.
Love it.
He says, when you know, you know.
Yep.
And then we started planning a wedding. It was, so I had my terms. When I met my husband, I was 34 and I was like, I'm not here to play games.
Yeah.
Like, if you are going to come in, I've already dated my fair share of guys that have played with me. I've wasted a lot of time. And I'm here for the real deal. So he's like, let me show you what I can do. So we started dating. 7 months later, I was engaged. And then he's like, I can only do legal cannabis in California.
Yeah.
And I lived at Miami at the time. So I was like, I'm not moving for a boyfriend.
No, of course.
And I know we're engaged, but people can be engaged for years and never get the real thing.
It's called a shut-up ring.
Right.
Yeah. That's what it's called. It's called a shut-up ring.
You might as well just give me a promise ring.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're not doing that. So then, so I told him, I said, we need to have a date, deposit on the actual venue, and I'll move.
Good for you.
So then we did just that. And then we picked the venue. We gave the deposit. I moved to LA. So Miami was my home. It's always been my home for my whole life. Is where I was born and raised. There's a culture in Miami you cannot get anywhere else, but my life began here now with Chris. So
how long have you guys been together, like total?
We've been together total. It's 2.5 years. It'll be 3 years in September.
Nice. See, I love being married. I love when I asked you, I was like, what do you want to talk about? You're like, I just got married. I just told someone the other day, I was like, listen, after 6 months, I need to have a ring. Like, I know that sounds crazy, and that is like a short amount of time, which it is. I need that. And like, I also like to go places and have a ring so people know that I'm just taken already. Like, I don't like explaining to men in public that I'm taken.
That I'm not interested.
And I like just them coming up to me, seeing that I have a ring, and then them just walking away.
Right.
And I love being married. I've been married 3 times. I talk a lot about it.
Oh, you've been married.
Yes. I've probably been in just one relationship where I haven't been engaged. Mm-hmm. It has to be talked about. Like, I also came from like a religious family, so it's important to me. I don't see why people date without marriage. And I'm not against it. Like, people are like, oh, I've been together 10 years and it's just not for me.
Yeah. And it wasn't and isn't for me either. I will tell you, just like you, I'm sure, and I'm not speaking for every woman. I'm only speaking for most women that I know.
Yes.
And us, right? I have been on both sides. I've been the girlfriend. I've been the relationship that I think we're in a relationship, but we're dating and we're sleeping together. But are you my man? I don't know. But I'm leaving after we have sex. I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah.
You know, like I've been in those situations, and I've been in a 7-year relationship where I was like, am I ever going to be your wife?
Yeah.
So I've been stuck in a lot of scenarios. And I will say, I love being married. The fact that I do not have to wonder how committed you are is a peace of mind I have never experienced until now.
I wonder what it is for certain men that don't, like, they are okay with that long term. Because I asked the guy, he's like, it's for the female. Like, I'll marry someone for them because it's like a status thing for the female, and like it makes them feel like comfortable, and you know, but they say that it's not for the men. I think that men need to learn to enjoy marriage. It's a great thing. Like, you know, it's such a beautiful thing.
So men, this is what my husband tells me. Men naturally won't want to search for, you know, the lockdown.
Yeah.
Right. And I've heard men say, oh yeah, marriage doesn't matter. What does it matter? What difference does it make? But I've also heard men say, yeah, I don't really feel like I need to be faithful until I'm married. So I'm not going to be married until I'm ready to be faithful.
That's why you got to lock them down 6 months.
Right.
Where's the ring?
Exactly. We can agree with this. Marriage comes with responsibility.
Absolutely.
It comes with accountability. And there is a difference between being legally bonded with somebody and not. So you're not going to walk away that easy from someone you have a lot more.
Well, you have to hire a lawyer.
Right. It sounds a little expensive.
Yeah.
So then with that being said, you know, there is a second thought.
How do you feel about prenups?
You know, I don't like them if they're not my way, right? So if it's like the man putting me on a prenup, no. If I need to put a man on a prenup, then you're not richer than me, and that probably wouldn't work.
I like prenups.
You like prenups?
My other marriages, or my first 3, because I'm gonna get married a 4th time. I don't care what anyone says.
You're like Pamela Anderson.
Yeah,
she got married a bunch of times.
I love her, and I was watching her documentary thing, and she was like, all you gotta do is tell a guy that you would never marry them, and they'll marry you. And I used to tell people that all the time. I was like, just tell them, nah, I would never marry you. It makes them want to get married.
You know,
but I would sign a prenup now, only because in the past I've been married to men that I thought made more than me, and they did at the beginning. And then I'm very like hardworking, I'm very ambitious, and like I only want to increase my income.
Right.
And I only see that for myself. So I don't want to have to pay. Like, if I were to have a child with any of my exes, I'd be paying them child support.
Oh my God.
And I thought about that like the last couple of years. I was like, I want to prevent that. Like,
so, you know, I think there's like a catfish for finances. Like there's a catfish for physical appearance.
Yeah.
I think that we should make that a thing, because I feel like men date for beauty and we date for stability. So I think like you got to be really upfront on what you bring to the table, sir, because when I get pregnant, I don't need to feel like I got to work when I'm 9 months pregnant and wobbling because you don't got your shit together.
No, of course.
So where's the compromise?
It's just hard when they present themselves like, no, like I've had men like, you know, they'll pull up in the Rolls Royce or whatever, and then like
it's rented for the weekend.
Or like seriously, stuff like that. Yeah. And like you don't really, not that like I care, because I actually genuinely don't. I'm very comfortable like taking care of myself. Actually, I take a lot of pride in that.
Right.
But I want someone to match that. I'm not gonna lie, only because they feel so insecure if they figure out that the female makes more. It like really like affects them, and I don't want that insecurity.
That's actually a good point. I'm more of a, I want to be able to work. I don't want to feel like I need to.
Yeah, you don't.
My husband, he's 46 years old.
I was gonna ask how old he was.
He's 10 years older than me. So there came a standard.
Yeah.
Okay, you're 10 years older. You have waited this long to be married. When you're going to like bond your life together and mix it around, I need to know, because my next chapter is being pregnant.
Yeah, I was gonna say you want to have kids.
Yeah,
right?
so we're actually trying right now.
Good.
And I'm very excited because it's the most exciting, scary thing I have ever experienced, because I've been a model for so long.
Yeah.
And I have complete control of how I look, and I take pride in working out and being this bad bitch.
Well, you still can being pregnant.
Well, thank you for the reassurance, because it's just like, what is it gonna look like after? you know?
Well, you never know. And sometimes sometimes people look even better though. I've seen girls like really look good after pregnancies.
I'm praying for that.
Well, plastic surgery is always
You know,
an
the little help.
It's always an option. But you can always work out while you're pregnant.
I work out now, so I hope that, you know, my pregnancy allows me to, that I'm not sick or whatever. But yeah. that's the plan, to stay as healthy
That's fine
as
though.
possible.
That's fine. I've only been pregnant by accident.
Oh, you don't have any children living?
No, I don't have any kids.
Don't change the subject, just answer the fucking question.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
We have some hot topics, and this is actually about marriage. So, Vogue writer, her name is Hannah Clugston. Am I saying that right? Hannah
I think she'll be okay.
Reported the challenges and lessons she learned after getting married at 22. Here is the rough guide to making things work and knowing when it's time to quit. By the time you're 30, you're a completely different person. 20 to 25 is your baby years of adult. You still have a lot of growth to do and understand what it means to be an adult. Do you agree with that? I personally agree with that.
I definitely agree with that.
I agree for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes there's a rare occasion where someone's super mature when they're in their early 20s, but I'm definitely, once I hit 25, I don't know what it was. I'm going to be 28 this year, so maybe it will be different for me when I'm 30 again, but for me, 25 was when I really changed as a person.
I think my soul's been here a few times because I've always been very mature for my age.
I can see it.
You know, people are like, oh, when you get to this age, it's going to hit you and you're going to want to do all these things. Like, I was yawning at the club, like at 22, like, why am I here?
I hate clubs.
I'm like, why am I here? You know, like that type of energy. And people are like, it's going to hit you. Watch, you're going to want to do these things. And I'm like,
never came,
it's 36 and I'm waiting for that moment. And I think, you know, if we do reincarnate, I think I've been here too many times. Like, I think at this point, my soul doesn't need to do everything.
Yeah.
You know, some people are like, do things once. I don't have an interest.
Yeah, me too. That's just like, what's it called? Not old spirit.
We're an old soul.
Old soul, that's what it is. Souls. Yeah, I'm definitely am. It says also, your person is not your entire world. Yes.
I mean, they're supposed to be.
They are. So it says, it might be cliche, but this is a mistake to rely on one person for everything. Agreed.
I
don't want to have to take care of a man. And I don't want someone also, like my past relationship, I felt like the guy relied on me for everything. It was so draining. Like, I was like, you gotta take care of something.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think there is a world where when you present yourself, you're so independent, I got it, I'm the boss here, and the guy's like, well, if she's gonna take that role, then fuck it. And maybe you're not allowing, or the roles get switched along the relationship.
I'm not gonna say I'm masculine, but I am very dominant.
Okay.
And I know that I could take over everything, and I'll just gladly do it over waiting for someone to do something. For sure, I'm dating immature men that allow me to just take over, and I need someone that's like dominant, that shuts me down.
So are you going to be okay with that? Because I feel like sometimes we're dating the same thing because we're just not okay with the opposite.
No.
Okay.
No, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So I was really hard because I found my husband and he was my person, but I didn't know it at the time because I denied him for 18 months. I didn't feel like I wanted to be with him.
That's a long time.
18 months. That's
half your guys' relationship.
Yeah,
now.
Because I was scared. First of all, I was like, what are you going to tell me? I haven't heard yet. You live in LA, I live in Miami. How's this going to work? And I was like you, I dated a certain type. And then I was like, you know, my husband was a little different than what I was used to. And I had to really wrap my head around that, because if you don't step out of your norm, because we don't even do it on purpose.
Yeah.
With what we're attracting.
No, I know. I need to chill out.
She's like, I need to chill out with this masculine energy.
Maybe I need someone that's like super, super submissive, that just lets me.
But then that's exhausting, because then they're going to be like, I'm waiting.
Yeah.
You're like, what are you waiting for? Just do you. And they're like, but that's not how it's been. So
okay, never mind.
We need to change.
I'm just thinking of different options for myself while I'm single. It also says it's okay to ask for help at any point in your marriage. It's easy to fall into your ego in your 20s, and marriage is not a lifeline honeymoon. To think otherwise is foolish. Yeah, I agree. You absolutely have to go to your person, and you can't. I saw this thing with Michelle Obama, and she was like, sometimes a marriage is 70-30, sometimes it's 50-50, sometimes it's 60-40. And I agree with that. Sometimes you, at certain points in your life, need a little bit more help, and then that person can step in if you're married to the right person.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's moments of fluctuation. I mean, a relationship's like the weather. Like, you just never know what to expect.
Yeah.
You know, some days you're up and the sun is out and you feel great. And some days, you know, I'm PMSing, I'm upset, I'm in my feelings. Sometimes he had a really bad day at work and he's not wanting to be so talkative, and knowing that it's not always about you.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person, when my husband walks in through the door and he's not his usual self, it's
tell.
hard for me to not take it personal.
Yeah.
Like, what happened? What's wrong? No, nothing. And I'm like, why are you not talking to me? What did I do? And it's like, it's not taking it personal and allowing someone to have a bad day.
I know. I'm not good at that either. I'll be like,
what
what's
the hell?
wrong? You're gonna leave me right now.
Like,
this second.
Are you thinking that this is not good for us? Like, he's like, what? And I'm being a little dramatic, but you know, your mind goes there, you know, sometimes.
So the next discussion is kind of we're switching gears here. It says teachers turn to OnlyFans because of low wages and crippling student loan. Because you have an OnlyFans, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you do. Really quick, how has that affected your music and public life at all?
So my music life has taken a step down.
Okay.
You know, I was Lil Wayne's artist. I was signed to Young Money. I mean, I was in this mode of music. And then I got into the TV business. I was on Cartel Crew because of COVID or whatever. I was on and off this journey with VH1 for 5 years, putting my whole life out there. And my life and my career was in motion, but I didn't have the things that I would pray for as a little kid.
Yeah.
I didn't have the love of my life. I didn't have a home with my person. I wasn't married. I didn't have children. So it's not that you can't have both, but I feel like I had a lot of things that I was doing at the time, but I didn't have the things that I really wanted. So now my life is just other things have taken a stop, so other things can move forward.
So, but the OnlyFans hasn't affected that, right?
It was actually my husband's idea.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like your husband.
I have a very supportive husband. My husband's like, I'm with a bad bitch. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. I want you to flourish. My husband doesn't stop me from being me. We have a shared folder of what goes in OnlyFans. So we do things tastefully and there's no, inappropriate things. But my husband allows me to be sexy. He allows me to dress how I want to dress and express myself. He's like, I married that person.
Yeah, I love that. You have a great husband.
Yeah,
it's going to really
I'll
work
keep
out.
him for now.
Yeah. So teachers are, I guess, getting in trouble for creating OnlyFans because they're trying to pay off their debt and it's low wages. Some teachers are being able to pull in an extra $5,000 to $10,000 a month from their OnlyFans, but several teachers are getting fired and actually they're pulling their license from them. But they are saying that the average wage for a teacher is actually $43,000 per year, or roughly $28,000 after taxes, and second jobs are almost impossible for them to hold down. I'm not gonna lie, when you're working with children, I don't think you should have sexual content, but that's just my personal opinion. I mean, I'm a big OnlyFans supporter, obviously. I think that it's really helped a lot of people. I just feel like maybe when it comes to if you're working with children, you got to keep it separate. I saw on the Daily Mail the other day, though, like a teacher getting in trouble for like taking photos at this school and stuff. And I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you be taking nude photos in front of the children's books?
So
that's crazy.
Maybe if someone in OnlyFans paid her and said, this is my fantasy, please do this.
But that's sick if you think about it. They're doing it for a twisted way. It's not just because she's a sexy teacher, because you can make a fake chalkboard in your home and act like you're doing a lesson.
This is my stance on OnlyFans. I think because it says OnlyFans, and that website itself, because there's so many people that do this, they think everyone else does that.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. If you're a teacher, what does your content look like?
That's true.
Let me see, because I go on my news feed and some girls are cooking on there.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're doing workout videos. And I think because being in my agency, there's just a little shift in OnlyFans that they want a little bit more of everything.
Yeah.
So are you a teacher talking about your daily life? Are you blogging? Are you, showing your life outside of teaching?
Or are you doing POVs? In the school bathroom. That's what I saw was going on. That's what she was doing.
So those girls need to get fired.
Yes.
Because you're not teaching my kid and then, doing that type of stuff on your own time.
Yeah.
No, I would definitely not allow that. But if you're using content in a positive way and you're just being sexy and beautiful, I can't say she's doing wrong and I'm doing
right. I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I do other things. And I'm a wife, right? People would be like, oh, how are you a wife? And how are you respecting yourself if you have OnlyFans? See, we're putting it like on this cliche thing. So let's step outside of that. If you're a teacher, what does your content look like?
I never thought about that. I just always assume people are doing straight sex scenes and, but I never thought about that too. Like even people put their podcasts up on their OnlyFans.
A lot of great things. I mean, we could do a shift and we just allow the person to have a platform and see what they do.
I don't think they deserve getting their license taken away. I think
we need to look further. We need to be in an investigation, FBI agents, and look into their social media. If it's inappropriate, then you gotta go.
I agree. This one's a good one. Woman charged with putting bleach in husband's coffee, but avoids jail time. So recently, Melody Johnson was charged in Arizona with attempted murder after she slipped small amounts of bleach in her husband's coffee every morning. Johnson and her husband were living together with their child while finalizing their divorce. On multiple occasions, she had spiked the husband's coffee with bleach. The husband noticed the taste and set up a camera and caught Johnson. After getting arrested, the husband asked the court to not give her jail time so she could still be a mother to their child. Johnson got 3 years of probation and did not officially explain why she tried to poison him. The husband stated that he believed Johnson was trying to kill him. Well, no shit. To collect insurance money. Well, I'm trying to process on why he thought that she would be able to be a good mother after trying to kill someone, especially the father. It doesn't feel like she'd be capable.
You know what I think it is? He's got guilt.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking that he was obviously in an abusive relationship and he's like, trying to, how you like give the person the benefit of the doubt. Would you be forgiving?
No,
right?
I don't think there's a world unless you are molesting my child.
Yeah.
It would be that. It would be my child. You are hurting them. You're molesting them. You're raping them. It would be something that I'm like, you're going to die a slow death.
Yeah.
Sir. You know what I mean? But other than that, I think I'll just take the high road and leave you.
Yeah.
Leave your ass. And, and be like, we're done here. Like, I fall asleep to forensic files.
Same.
Oh my God, why are we like this?
But, I don't know. We had a guest therapist and she says that women's brain, I forget why, but it actually calms our brain in a way.
It calms me. So. My husband's like, should I be worried?
No,
that you're
it's such
calm
good.
When you're watching these mysteries and these unsolved and like forensics and he killed his wife and the wife killed the husband. That literally, I don't know why it's just because it's monotone. And I think that women, even though we don't want to admit it, we're like the more vulnerable species. So we're always trying to figure out how do we protect ourselves? Oh my God, how do we notice
murder.
signs and like red flags and can this guy hurt me? Because we always are a little bit on edge of trying to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
Do you think that?
I think it's that. I think that I like documentaries in general. I just don't find many things fascinating. And it's very fascinating to me how people can take it to that level.
Put bleach in the coffee.
Yeah, like take it to that level seems so crazy. And
it really does. There's a documentary on Hulu. It's called Snapped.
Oh, I used to watch that as a kid. Me and my mom would fall asleep to that on the couch.
Girl, it's just women that do these crazy things. They just snap and they kill their husbands. That story to me is very bizarre, but I do not want to judge only because what was the man doing? But either way, there is no excuse.
Yeah, there's no excuse.
Yeah, I think she should have gotten some jail time.
Absolutely.
5 years, something.
But 3 years probation. I didn't realize that if you ask... Well, I didn't realize if you ask for someone not to get jail time, they don't get jail time, because that's how I'm reading it.
Well, because maybe he's the one that would press charges.
So he dropped charges. He had to have been.
He must have been fucking her friend or something.
Yeah, like he did something.
He's a motherfucker.
He did something really bad.
He's a really bad guy. I already realized this. This is what it is.
No, it's okay, babe. I know that
okay.
it tasted a little sour in my coffee, but go ahead
your
and
sister.
Yeah,
So it's
absolutely,
okay.
he did. Let's put the blame on him.
I will.
Be a typical
That's the only way the
enabler.
math is mathing in my brain.
Okay, so here's some fan questions. My boyfriend, 31, is obsessed with fashion and fashion shows. It's becoming concerning. I, 27 female, have noticed a concerning trend with my boyfriend. He spends close to $400 a month, mostly on credit cards for fashion for both of us. We both look great. I have a good job, but it's not exactly the money that we have. Almost everything on his feed, I'm guessing Instagram, is fashion tips, fits, clips from a number of catwalks. He's known to hyperfixate on things, but it's starting to become concerning how much he's spending. What can I do? I'd love to have a boyfriend that loves fashion.
Right?
I feel like you always have to help them.
So this is my opinion. I'm a Libra. This is the sign that
That's
really
September, right?
It is October.
Oh, okay.
For me, but September for other people. I like to have balance. Too much of one thing is bad. So if he is spending large amounts of money in one thing, there has to be other things that are suffering.
I think that he's showing signs of bipolar, actually. If someone, no, I'm being serious. If someone hyperfixates on one thing, that's like signs of bipolar. So I could see how, I don't think she's actually concerned about the fashion part. I think she's concerned about the hyperfixating on things.
I would like to ask her a few more questions because it's like, is he doing all the right things in all the right areas? And this is just his hobby? Because if everything else is checked out, then who cares, right? But if there's so many things you guys are not doing because he's got this addiction, it's called an addiction.
Maybe it's a shopping addiction. Maybe it's not really a fashion addiction.
But let it be on me and not on you.
Yeah. She says that he buys for the both of them. I like that.
And what's the problem?
I know. I guess maybe she's concerned about the amount that he's spending, and maybe she's thinking that it could get worse and worse. That's how I'm reading it. Like, if they don't have that money, or it's getting a little bit close and maybe he just doesn't care, I could see how that can be like a lot.
Again, okay, it's fashion, it's fun, it's, you guys are both trending, you guys are wearing the best clothes, it's always new stuff, new this, but I think it's like prioritizing.
Yeah.
I think she needs to have a more adult conversation with him. Like, this is cool, but I'm trying to go up here. I'm trying to elevate in this way. Are you still trying to just do fashion, or are we buying houses?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
So I think it's just a conversation of pulling him aside and saying, listen, this was cool for now. It was cool for the moment. Now I'm moving on to something else. Elevation.
Or open, if he loves fashion so much, open up like maybe a store or something, right?
Make it profitable.
Yes, exactly. Then more power to you. Do whatever you want.
Okay, so make it profitable. That is our advice.
Okay, the next one is, my girlfriend wants to start an OnlyFans. I think I might dump her. I don't like this already. Okay. Male 31 recently found out that my girlfriend wants to start an OnlyFans as a job, and I don't support it. She recently lost her job in tech and is struggling to find a new one. She told me last week she's thinking about making a page to make ends meet. We live together, split the cost. I have no problem picking up for the slack of the bills, but she feels like it's a handout. I don't want anyone else to see her naked. She told me that I would be the only one if she needed a guy, but I have very specific tattoos, and anyone who knows me would know it's me in her videos. I love her to death and would rather work overtime, but she seems set on doing this. What should I do? I mean, this is great for you because your husband allows you to have I shouldn't say allow, but
yeah, but he does support it. I think it's the compromise. Okay, so wait, here's the compromise. She gets an OnlyFans. Her content's got to be to where he feels it's respectable.
Yeah.
If that's not going to work for her, then she's not compromising. I think that him letting her have an OnlyFans and having content that's appropriate is where he's going to compromise.
So what concerns me is people like this. It's like they think that they're going to make an OnlyFans with no fan base and it's going to be lucrative. It's not.
It doesn't work that
you
way.
have to have a fan base. Otherwise, I could see that like, what if she's only making you know, $100 a month. And then, you know,
it's costing her a relationship.
Yeah, it's costing her relationship. If she really feels like it could be super lucrative, then I think that's great, like having those boundaries and stuff. But I think people really think I'm just going to make a flat $30,000 a month, and it's not the case. And I really want them to be cautious because, like we said, the association with OnlyFans can also cost a job, like a legit job. And
well,
I don't
she
want
apparently
that
doesn't have a job.
I know, but a future job, right? What if they're like...
So this is the only advice I could give him. If he loves her and she feels very passionate about just having her own money, because sometimes it's just about having your little few cents. It makes you feel worthy.
Independent.
It makes you feel independent. It makes you feel strong. It doesn't make you feel like, oh my God, I'm just relying on this man. If he ever left me, I don't even have anything to go get my own little apartment.
No, that's scary.
It's a very scary thought. And it's also, it's like some men dangle it in your face.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I pay for everything here.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah.
And you're like, damn,
Control.
It's a control thing. So if that's where she's coming from, like, look, just give me a little independence. I would do a shared folder like me and my husband do.
I like that. I think that's really
and
cool.
I put in my content, and if there's anything that he's like, this is inappropriate, then it comes right off.
Yeah.
And there is no discussion. There's no room for error. Like, I feel like my husband already supports the OnlyFans. If my content is not appropriate, then I have to respect that.
Yeah.
So there's the compromise.
I mean, maybe she doesn't have to do nude. Maybe she could just do sexy.
Sometimes there's more mystery in just the in-between.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? So that's what it is, guys. That's my advice to you.
I like it. I really like it. You're very, like, smart. Seriously.
Just the middle.
Yeah.
Just find the middle.
Yeah. Okay, so last question is, I need help with ways to get over an ex. I recently got dumped out of nowhere. It was like someone just pulled the plug. One day, I noticed something was off with my girlfriend. Next day, she called me and told me that we were done and she was leaving, and there was nothing I could do to fix anything because she just needed to work on herself and deal with the feelings of dumping her ex. Damn. That's basically saying I want to go back to my ex, but I'll read the next things. I saw on her Instagram that she already was with a new guy. That broke me. I don't want her back, but I'm looking for advice to try to get her out of my mind. I just need help finding ways to stop thinking about her. Oh, I don't love her anymore. Yeah, it's a guy. But it feels like she's taken a part of my soul and I can't get her off my mind. Man, I know how that feels when you're like, I don't like this person. Like, they should have never been with me. Like, there's something about, I think it's the rejection that people get obsessed with. And it's hard to rationalize, like, why would she dump me? You know what I mean?
Being used to someone is almost stronger than love.
Yeah.
For me, I'm a routine kind of person. So when I have someone that I let into my life for a certain period of time, and you take that person away because I have no choice, because of disrespect or whatever, I feel naked. I feel vulnerable. I feel I got to process. It doesn't feel right. I wake up in the mornings and I feel like someone died.
Yeah, of course.
So there's a pain in my heart,
them.
even if they're not for me. And eventually, you know, it was for the best. But in that process, the pain is confusing.
It is.
And then someone, one or the other, moves on quicker. And I like to make my next move my best move.
Yeah.
So I don't move quick. And maybe the person I'm crying or having pain for already has a new person.
Yeah. I mean, that's what people typically do when they're the problem.
For sure.
They want to convince themselves that you're not the problem. My thing when I was like super obsessed with someone, I was like, I don't love this person, but like I couldn't stop thinking about them. I told my friends, do not say his name. Do not bring him up. Do not ask me about him. And still to this day, we don't use his name like at all. That was something that helped me. Mm-hmm. And anytime I thought about him, I had to actively be like, no, I got to think about something different. Like, I like to journal a lot. I think that you could maybe journal your feelings out and burn the note, because I feel like that kind of like helps you feel like, oh, okay, now, you know.
See, I'm the opposite.
Yeah. Like to talk it out.
I am the one that talks it out with my friends, and they talk me out of
going back.
Yeah. Like, do you have any idea who you are?
Yeah.
Do you know who you are? And I'm like, who am I? Who am I? You're that bitch. That is who you are. And maybe those conversations where I just let it out and the person is telling me, what I already know, but what I'm doubting is like my therapy. I also become the best fucking version of myself.
You have to,
I
right?
will kill it on the gram to the point where it would fucking break you in half.
I love it.
I'm like, you're going to see my videos and you're going to see my photos.
I'm scared now.
And you're going to be like, what did I do? I lost that. Yeah, you lost that. So I think it's doing the inner work, right? So if he's a talker, talk it out. If you are the person that needs to journal. If you want to just don't bring it up, then that works too. It all works depending on the person.
It really does help working on yourself. That's something that I also did. And I was like, should I not be doing this because am I giving it too much of my energy trying to like do this like revenge? But it distracts you so much that eventually you will be over the person because you will bring in good people.
Time.
And also time. You have to give it time.
Nobody, let me say this again. Nobody dies for nobody.
Yeah.
I have seen my mother. My mother was in a 24 year marriage with my dad. And my dad, left my mom, in her 40s, her late 40s, and she was destroyed because she's like, I thought that me overlooking certain things was going to eventually pay off. And I've seen my mom destroyed, but I've also seen my mom lift back up. And anything is possible.
Yeah.
I have cried. I have suffered for men that I've thought to myself, no one understands me.
Yeah.
Oh, this pain is never going to go away. But the best therapy is whatever you think is best for you, talking it out or not talking, but it's time.
Yeah,
Time is the best healer because it eventually, the norm will be you again. And they also say this saying in Spanish is like, un clavo saca otro clavo, meaning one nail takes out another nail. Once you're done healing, someone will come into your life and give you
it's so true
a perspective and be like, you know what? That other person just wasn't for me either. And you get excited again.
It's so true. I'm like I say this often, but like for some reason I'm thankful that all my exes cheated on me.
Me too.
Because I'm like
thank God.
Yeah, because it made me leave.
Me.
Yeah, it made me leave. At the time it was really heartbreaking, but now looking back, I'm like, I'm thankful they messed it up. Like I have like great male friends around me that are better, way better than my boyfriends ever were, and they're just friends, So
yeah, there's not one ex
you would go back to
that I could ever say, like, I wish I was back with them.
Yeah.
I look at them now and I'm like, thank God it did not work out.
I'm disgusted
I'm like,
mine.
why?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I thought
it's embarrassing.
He was cute.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
I'm like, there's something. I'm like, just it didn't happen. Who are you talking about? I'm like, God damn it. I'm a little embarrassed on that one.
I hate that. But you're like, he's so cute, girl, isn't he? And all your friends are like, yeah. And then after they're like,
he's a frog. Nobody wanted to tell you.
You want to plug anything? Your Instagram,
Well, yeah. So my Instagram is Steph's_music. You guys can follow me. I'm like trying to transition into these like reels now. So
me too.
Have you noticed that like Instagram is just what TikTok?
I know. And it's
I didn't know. When did this happen?
I don't like reels either, and I'm trying to come up with ones that aren't the singing ones because you probably like the singing ones, but I don't want
the monologue ones.
Yeah, I can't do it. I'm just like my brain can't process it. But yeah, that's the next thing.
Because when I start recording the reel, I'm like, hi.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. So like when I'm doing the monologue and I'm being funny, people like that. So I guess, you just got to find your niche. But yeah, just follow me on Instagram. I'm working on some new projects with a new show. I can't say quite what it is, but as soon as I can, I will be promoting that as well. And there's just more ventures to come in my journey. And all that.
Twitter, no.
Yeah, I have Twitter.
If you want to plug it,
it's Steph's A Music. I also have TikTok. You can find me, Stephanie Ball, on there. I'm really trying to feed all these social medias, but sometimes it's like life is just lifing.
It's hard.
And I'm in my feminine era. I'm like
soft
trying to
girl
make
era, right?
That's soft girl, wifey, trying to have a baby, making my house a home. It's just
I think you're gonna have a boy.
Thank you. I want a boy.
Yeah, okay. I think you're gonna have a boy.
I want anything at this point.
Yeah, it will happen. It will happen when you least expect it.
But it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks.
I really felt comfortable here. Is this your home?
Yes, it is.
It's a very, very cute home.
Thank you. Thank you.
But till next time.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Bye,
much.
Guys.
Bye.